cover girl, voice of a generation. What began as one young girl's 3-week vigil outside the doors of the Swedish parliament has evolved into a full-fledged global initiative.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Locally, students from the New York City area have been striking every Friday for nearly a year. And what they may be missing in class, they're more than making up for in real-world experience, putting their values into action.
Climate crisis is a generational issue, but it requires intergenerational cooperation.
It's our responsibility and it's also our burden, because it's like, we didn't really do this. It's the earth we inherited, and even now, like the people who are doing it are, like the top 100 corporations and the elected officials who aren't giving attention to the climate crisis. And like the youth movement hasn't risen out of choice; it's risen out of necessity.
Stop fossil fuels.
We really support what you're doing, but they don't do anything beyond that. It's like they say they support us. Like, well, that's great, thank you, but not that helpful. Yeah. You can vote, you can do this, you can strike, you can lobby these politicians, like you can do all of this and more. We're full-time students. We don't have half the resources you have. So instead of just saying you support the empowered young people, like go out there and do something, change something.
Yes. I want all of you to understand what my generation is going through. I want you to process that, and I want you to become a climate activist.
It's also like caring about the environment has become such a privilege. Yeah. Also, if you are trying to feed your family paycheck by paycheck, you don't have time to care about the environment because it seems like such a distant issue, because the media paints it as such a distant issue. So when you tell frontline communities, people of color, that their daily lives are being affected by climate change and how they're being affected by climate change, now they're more susceptible to join the movement. But how are you going to ask them to care about something that when they have 1,000 things to care about?
When I was 12 years old, I went back to India, which is my native country. And was hospitalized because I couldn't breathe. No one should lose the right to breathe on this planet.
Changing your mindset from excessive consumerism to sustainability is about putting frontline communities in the forefront and also enabling a just transition for them to switch their jobs. If they're working in factories and those kind of jobs that are left to lower income communities, and then you want to wipe out all the factories, they're going to have no jobs. So then you have to make a path for them to get to renewable jobs safely without endangering their families. So it is very complex, and that's why when you talk about the climate crisis, you're really talking about everything, including intergenerational issues. Like we are going to be the most affected, and our children.
It's an issue that it covers every single aspect of our life, because it covers housing, transportation, jobs, education, food, everything that we do, everything we know.
We're gonna strike because our waters are rising. We're gonna strike because our people are dying. We're gonna strike for life and everything we love. We're gonna strike for you, will you strike for us? We're gonna strike for you, will you strike for us?